Russian troops in Syria are having a hard time since the collapse of Bashar al-Assad's regime. They have found themselves in the crosshairs of not only local militias but also Israel. This was reported by the Russian Z blogger Fighter Bomber, associated with the Russian Aerospace Forces. Russia obviously was not ready to overthrow Assad. The evacuation of troops and equipment is taking place in complete chaos, despite the fact that the local opposition and Turkey have given Russia guarantees of immunity and time to leave the country. Some groups of the Russian armed forces have been surrounded. Some of the military came under attack from the Israel Defense Forces. Fighter Bomber denied the statement by the chairman of the State Duma Committee on Defense, Andrei Kartapolov, that their military contingent in Syria is allegedly not under any threat. I would like to address our Israeli partners. Please don't hit Syrian airfields yet. Some of them have our servicemen who we remember, but no one told you about them. And with your strikes, you can kill them a little. So far, we've gotten away with it, but there's no need to repeat it. Then you can smash everything there into rubble, wrote the Russian Z blogger. It should be noted that there are two Russian military bases in Syria, the Khmeimim Air Base and the Tartus Naval Base. Russian troops are also dispersed in small groups at other military facilities throughout the country. At the moment, an urgent evacuation of soldiers and equipment is underway. The Russians were not allowed to maintain a military presence in Syria. Syrian media reports say Israeli warplanes have carried out dozens of attacks across the country, including in the capital, Damascus. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said there were more than 100 strikes on military targets. A research center with suspected links to chemical weapons production was among the sites hit, according to local media reports. Israel says it is acting to stop weapons falling into the hands of extremists following the overthrow of the Assad regime. The strikes come as the UN's chemical watchdog warns authorities in Syria to ensure that suspected stockpiles of chemical weapons are safe. According to the UN's chemical watchdog, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, a chemical weapon is a chemical used to cause intentional death or harm through its toxic properties. The use of chemical weapons is prohibited under international humanitarian law, regardless of the presence of a valid military target, as the effects of such weapons are indiscriminate by nature. It is not known where or how many chemical weapons Syria has, but it's believed former President Bashar al-Assad kept stockpiles and that the declaration he had made was incomplete.
A large number of explosions were heard near Kamishli Airport in northeast Syria late Monday. The blasts, which appeared to be explosions of ammunition, were apparently caused by an airstrike on a former Syrian army base, near the airport and the border with Turkey. The base that was targeted was one of the most